Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Topics with Mr. Javadi. I'm Payman Javadi, the host, and today I am just more than blessed to have Harris Abernathy with us as our guest. He is one of the directors at the museum in Durango Sylverton Train Museum, and but I'll let him kind of introduce himself some and give his exact title, things like that. Harris, good morning to you. Welcome to the program. You live in a beautiful, beautiful spot. I'm a little bit jealous. I wish I was there.
Yes,
but,
yes.
uh, but but I've been there many times before, and hopefully, God willing, one of these days I'll be down your way again. But why don't you introduce yourself a little bit more specifically? Tell us a little bit about your background, your education, how you ended up at this job, etc. So,
All right. Well, thank you for having me today. Yeah, my name is Harris Abernathy. I'm the director of the Durango and Silverton Narrow Gauge Railroad. Uh, our museum is railroad focused with a high amount of transportation elements as well. But really, we've got a little bit of everything for everyone because the folks coming to visit our museum are often quite surprised at the eclectic collection that we have. So it's a really big honor to be a part of it. I've been in this role for 3 years now. I've lived in Durango for about 15, originally from Tennessee. I have a master's degree in historic preservation, which definitely influenced my decision to take this role. And but even prior to this taking this role, I had been coming to this museum for many years. I bring my children to this museum, and so it was a really neat opportunity to take something that I already loved and make a career out of it. So feel very blessed and fortunate for that. Um, so here at the museum, we've got everything from historic locomotives to most recently a dinosaur skeleton that was found regionally. So
yeah.
it's really great opportunity to meet folks from all over the world and to share something that, as it turns out, most people in the world have a fascination about, which is trains. So very grateful for that.
Well, that's fantastic. So the career, I'm a former teacher, so I have probably some young people watching. The career that you studied for, I guess, would be historical related careers. Am I right on that, or what would you?
Correct.
How would you term that? Like if a person wants to go study
Broadly speaking, it's in the public history realm
public history.
of academia, which my focus originally was building preservation, um, and then you know that gave me some good foundation for taking on this role as well, because there is a tremendous amount of hands-on need here in the museum. Building exhibits, uh,
Hmm.
repairing facilities as needed. Something about museum work and this role is that you kind of have to be good at a lot of different things.
Yeah, yeah, you bet.
Yeah. So
Yeah. Well,
it's a good way to use my mind and my body.
yeah, you bet. Well, sounds like it. Sounds very, very, very fascinating. The history of Durango Silverton train, why it began to begin with.
Sure. So the Denver Rio Grande Railroad built the line out here from starting from Denver, and their big push was to get to the mineral fields up in Silverton area, the
Yeah,
San Juan Mountains. There was a boom happening. Of course, you can only move so much freight on the back of horses and mules and donkeys. So to really be efficient in mining, you needed a railroad.
yeah,
So in 1881, the railroad finally reached Durango, set up shop here, a little bit of fanfare, and then quickly continued pushing north to Silverton. And they got to Silverton by 1882. So, and they built what is now, engineering marvel at the time, spectacular. Cutting
yeah.
cutting a railroad through these San Juan Mountains is quite a formidable task, and to have done it in less than a year really is just awing. Um, so the railroad in its early years was largely used exclusively for freight hauling to the mines, and then there was a smelter across the river from us as well. So trains would go up with building materials and supplies, etc., to the mines, and then they
Hmm.
haul down all the ore, um, and then bring it back to Durango's smelter where it was processed, separated out chemical and mechanical methods, and then from there it was distributed along the rail network to all over the country, largely to the mint in Denver at the time.
Hmm.
So tremendous amount of high value ore was coming out of here, processed in Durango, and then shipped out. So, however, as those mines started to play out, the viability of railroads was not as needed. Uh,
Hmm.
Starting, in the circa World War II, and then by the mid 50s, it was on a serious decline of use. However, about that time, Hollywood started utilizing the train for the Western movies, which exposed a much wider audience to the rail line that we had here in Durango.
Hmm.
There was suddenly an interest. Folks could see this mountain scenery on the silver screen and then say, "Oh, hey,
Yeah.
I can go ride that myself with my family." So that really spurred a new chapter of tourism here in Durango. So while all of that was going on, the Denver Rio Grande was trying to abandon much of their rail network. They had
Hmm.
already pulled up lots of tracks. They were actively trying to uh, get out of the industry.
Yeah. Yeah.
However, there was enough of a tourist draw and enough of local influence that they keep the line from Durango to Silverton open as a tourist operation,
So it
mostly.
so it began mostly because of the mining,
Correct.
and the helping of the miners and so on, and then it just gradually, with the interest of Hollywood and so on, because at that time Hollywood was your World Wide Web. So
Yes,
back then, so with the interest of Hollywood, then I guess you could say the tourism and the world interest in this helped fund and continue the train, and
absolutely.
and you have had a lot of local tourism as well. So why don't you talk about that a little bit?
The local tourism, as far as our
Yeah,
locals riding the train.
yeah, yeah.
Oh, man, it's great. We offer a wide variety of experiences. I'll give you an example. Just recently, which is a nice little excursion out for 3 hours, and I took my kids on it, and then they ended up running a bunch of their friends on the train as well. So it's a great opportunity for locals to congregate as well. And then in the wintertime, around Christmas, we run the Polar Express train,
Oh,
which
wow,
is a
wow,
big draw for local families and regional families alike. So,
wow. Yeah.
coming in here, you're seeing all sorts of familiar faces, and there's a blues train that they run a couple of times a year where they set up different bands and different cars and have live music as you're going down the train. Really great experience, and big popular experience for local folks as well. So there's a lot of opportunities for locals to ride the train, and in addition to that, we're one of the largest employees of town, having over about 200 people in peak season. So we provide a really neat opportunity for work experience, for entertainment, and also we're quite philanthropic with local events and charities. So the company itself gives a lot of money to local events, the college, the local rodeo, local youth sports leagues, and sort. So very involved in the community. Yeah,
And in Durango, you guys got Fort Lewis. Is that the college you're
correct.
talking
Yeah, Fort
about?
Lewis
Yeah,
College. Yep.
yeah, yeah. Very popular college by a lot of people, and
Yes. Yeah.
uh,
I am a
yeah.
graduate myself. Yeah.
Oh, really? Wow,
Yeah.
that's great. So lot to offer, and
Absolutely.
then it just sounds like it continues to just thrive, which is amazing. It's really quite the story in and of itself. That
It really is.
in today's day and age, you've got a train business that's doing so well, and so I was gonna ask you specifically about the film history, and then I want to talk about a little bit about more more of today's goings on. I've been on the train myself one time and just absolutely loved it. Myself and my wife Ijon, we took it back when we had some more time on our hands.
Mhm.
And it was just a delightful experience. It was in the fall, and I'll never forget it. It was just a
Great.
gorgeous, gorgeous, amazing experience. But okay, the film history. So
Yes.
Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, I guess maybe the more known to a lot of people film that
Yeah.
was filmed there. But there's many others, and I guess Kevin Costner just recently did one there. So talk about that some, the film history.
Okay. So this car that you see over my shoulder was a
Uh huh.
prop car for Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid.
Wow,
Yes,
wow.
they had three.
Wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute. Audience, did you hear that? Harris, repeat that.
The car over my right shoulder, this green car, is a
Yeah.
was a prop car built specifically for the film Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid.
Oh,
It
wow.
along with two other cars, were built right over here in our car shop, specifically for the movie. Now, this car you would have seen in some of the robbing scenes. However, the car that they built that exploded, they built that here in the yard with made of balsa wood, so that whenever the explosion happened, it was quite dramatic. Pieces would
Yeah,
flying everywhere.
yeah, yeah,
They also built the car in which the horses jump out of as the chase scene starts, and they actually built that one 3 feet higher than a standard car, so that horses and riders could go through it, and then they could use their Hollywood magic to simulate that it was just a normal car.
yeah,
Um,
yeah,
so they built those. They and then used a lot of our locomotives and a lot of our scenery. One of the other more fascinating railroading Hollywood stories is the movie Rio Grande, Denver Rio Grande, in which they actually collided two locomotives in a head-on collision for a shot, and they did that out up the line a ways. But that also just kind of gives you a perspective of where the cultural mindset of railroading was in the mid 1950s when that movie was filmed, that they would consider just smashing two locomotives together was a better use of that locomotive than
yeah, yeah.
using it historically. So um, interesting time. The real movie that really put us on the map was Ticket to Tomahawk, which was actually Marilyn Monroe's, I think, first film appearance. Uh, and they used a lot of our scenery, a lot of our trains. The Bumblebee is his famous locomotive that we have here. That's used, and the Emma Sweeting, excuse me, the Emma Sweeting was
Hmm.
using that. They actually built a wood replica of a locomotive and then use that as the prop piece, and that's here in our local park as well as a relic of Hollywood's use. So been a lot of movies filmed here. Like you said, most recently Kevin Costner was out last year shooting for a film, and so it was really neat to see how Hollywood utilizes us, and how they can spruce us up and do make it look so neat. And in
Wow.
addition, we'll actually sometimes send crews out on set, and they'll build 500 feet of rail or something to that effect, so that they're utilizing our talents as a company, but maybe just offsite for cinematography means. Yeah, so it's
Yeah. Just up the road. I've been down in that area many times. I used to teach on the Navajo reservation.
okay.
So I've, between there and Greeley, I traveled back and forth quite a few times. Um, and I know you guys have like a waterfall by Pagosa somewhere on the road, and then I mean, it just goes on and on and on. The beauty of the region,
Oh yeah.
and to me, one of the most spectacular sceneries is the fall season, where just it's so gorgeous, and those yellow leaves in those mountains. I mean, just never quits. It's amazing. So when you think of the scenery, when you think of all the natural beauty, it kind of makes sense that Hollywood has so much interest in that area,
Oh,
don't you think? Yeah.
Oh yeah, I mean between the rugged scenery and the locomotive and trains, it's kind of the best
Yeah.
spot to shoot. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. You bet. You bet.
Yeah.
So I think that makes a big difference. Okay. So you talked a little bit about what the train offers. If, let's say, I was to come down with my family and we want to ride the train, you talked about the music and the things that they offer. And of course, Silverton is another spectacular scene. Do you want to add anything that you haven't? Because you kind of talked about it some.
Well, there's no shortage of opportunity
with
to have
with the
a good
train.
time
Yeah.
with the train. One of the more positive time of year is using the train to access the wilderness, and so
Mm.
folks are able to take the train into the mountains and then depart and then go hiking from there.
Mm-hmm.
I myself and some friends recently took our rafts up and floated down the river using the
Wow. Wow.
train as a shuttle.
Yeah.
So using the train to access the wilderness and the mountains is a really popular opportunity as well. It's not just the pleasant train ride up the mountains. It's
Yeah. Yeah.
for a lot of folks it's a vehicle to get them to where they're wanting to go. Uh, so there's a lot of neat things that can be used for the train. And yeah, it's just being here and being able to smell the smells and feel the grit of a railroad, and walking around these yards and getting into the shops and having folks really get a taste of what we are and the history that we're preserving on a day-to-day basis. It's fascinating, and it's
Yeah.
a great opportunity for folks to step back in time a little bit and
Yeah.
see
Yeah.
how it was. Yeah.
So speaking of that, if I were to visit the museum, and now I haven't seen the museum in its fullest sense. Um, Never did, and I feel kind of dumb for not having done it now. Hearing you. But a friend of mine was talking about, she has been to the museum, and she was talking about what a gorgeous museum it is. But tell us what the museum offers. I know there's the cars, there's the trains, but tell us what all people can expect if they go in there.
Oh, it's like I said earlier, quite eclectic. Our most recent addition is a large dinosaur. We've
Hmm.
got locomotives. We've got cars. We've got art inspired by the train. We've got uh, reference library that folks can sit down and utilize. We've got an extensive archive that researchers can use. We have an incredible model train layout. We've got the communications corner where folks can sit down and use an old typewriter and type out a message on Morse code with an old phone booth next to it that you can make a call
Wow,
on.
wow, wow.
There's the turntable can see us use our turntable, which is a fascinating experience to watch a locomotive just get spun around seamlessly. Um, and then for those who want a little more, we offer yard tours every day. So
Hmm.
folks can take a tour of the shops, see the folks doing their jobs and repairing locomotives, repairing rolling stock. Really, the behind the scenes on how it keeps it going. So there's a lot of opportunity for folks. A great experience for families in particular with kids. They just have a great time. But there's something for everyone here in our museum, and you'll definitely walk away saying, "Oh man, that brought back some memories somewhere." So that's
Yeah, yeah,
that's the goal here is to leave you you know feeling good about history.
yeah. You bet, you bet. Well, if folks want to reach you, and by the way, I should say, you have been fantastic with the phone and public relations. Just you have tremendous skills. A plus on that.
Thank you very
From a
much.
former teacher, from A plus on that. But speaking of, just the generality of, we were talking about what you're offering, etc. Um, if folks want to reach you, what's the best way? Is that just the website or? Uh,
Yes, the website, and then from there you can be directed to my line or my email. So yeah,
okay, so and the website is durangotrain.com or?
DurangoTrain.com. Yes, sir.
Okay, and this is again Harris Abernathy. Harris, what's your specific title?
Museum director.
Museum director. So Harris Abernathy, the museum director. Okay. So durangotrain.com. Well worth it. Well worth it. I mean, it just sounds like a phenomenal experience. Way better than Polar Express. That's just a movie. But you know, this is just, it doesn't quit.
No,
So and it's live, and I mean, it's just unbelievable. So tell us a little bit about, I was talking about my former students, or more of the contemporary students, but any student, any young person that's out there, they're thinking about going into this career somehow,
mhm.
in some way. What would be your advice to them, trying to get ready, prepare themselves, etc.?
You know, um, we've got two interns right now, or one started as an intern and worked into a job, and then I've got another one about to go on the same path. We've got we're working with the Fort Lewis College History Department for the second time, coming
Mm.
up for internship opportunities for students. So getting your foot in the door, getting a taste of different aspects of the public history world. Some folks might be more drawn to archival work. Some folks might be drawn more to hands-on work or museum studies work. So the field is quite wide and varied. So for anyone getting into it, I would recommend getting a flavor of as many elements as you can, and then that will help you kind of winnow it down to where you are wanting to go. So that way you can really focus in and perfect your skills there.
And then for like the academic degrees, what would be your advisement? History, English. What do you recommend?
History, more and more. There's universities and colleges all history opportunities. I myself am a graduate of Middle Tennessee State University, which has a phenomenal public history and historic preservation program. Which I was fortunate enough to gain a lot of experience from there. So there's different universities with specialized focuses in public history and historic preservation. So seeking those out is a great opportunity.
All right, sounds good. And of course, if they are puzzled about anything, you know who to reach. You can ask Harris about it. Uh, well, Harris, it's been a pleasure. It's been a privilege. Thank you for all you do, and blessings, and hopefully we'll all come your way sometime and ride the train and visit the museum. Sounds like a wonderful experience.
Well, looking forward to it. Thank you so much for having me on this.
Yeah, you bet. Thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you. All right, see you. Bye bye.